Regional Australian cities are experiencing something remarkable right now. After decades of being overlooked while governments poured money into Sydney, Melbourne, and Brisbane, regional cities are finally getting their turn. Billions of dollars are flowing into infrastructure projects, urban renewal programs, new industries, and major developments that are fundamentally transforming these cities. These aren't small projects. We're talking about new airports, billion-dollar transport networks, entire new suburbs, massive health and education precincts, and infrastructure that will shape these cities for the next 50 years. And here's what matters for property investors and anyone considering a move to regional Australia. These developments are creating genuine opportunities. Property prices in regional cities have already jumped significantly over the past 5 years, but the developments I'm going to show you suggest that certain regional cities are just getting started. The infrastructure being built now will drive population growth, employment opportunities, and property demand for decades to come. I've analyzed major developments across every regional city in Australia. I've looked at project budgets, completion timelines, economic impact studies, government commitments, and most importantly, which projects are actually happening versus which are just announcements. I've identified the regional city developments that will have the biggest impact on property markets and livability. By the end of this video, you'll understand which regional cities are getting the most significant investment, what specific developments are happening, when they're completing, and most importantly, what this means for property values and opportunities in these cities. Let's start with understanding why regional developments matter more than ever. Regional developments have historically been small-scale and underfunded. A new library here, a road upgrade there, maybe a hospital expansion if the city was lucky. Regional cities were always the poor cousins to capital cities when it came to infrastructure investment. That's changing dramatically. Federal and state governments have realized that overcrowded capital cities can't absorb all of Australia's population growth. Sydney and Melbourne are bursting at the seams. Housing is unaffordable. Traffic is terrible. Infrastructure is struggling to keep up. The solution is directing growth to regional cities. But you can't just tell people to move to regional areas without giving them a reason. People need jobs. They need good hospitals and schools. They need transport infrastructure. They need urban amenities that make cities livable. That's why governments are now investing heavily in regional infrastructure. These investments serve multiple purposes. They create employment during construction, they improve livability for existing residents, they attract new residents and businesses, and they reduce pressure on overcrowded capitals. For property investors, regional developments create opportunities because they drive the fundamental factors that increase property values. Infrastructure attracts employment. Employment attracts population. Population creates housing demand. Housing demand pushes up prices. The key is identifying which developments will have the biggest impact. Not all infrastructure projects affect property markets equally. A new library might be nice for residents, but won't significantly impact property values. A new airport or billion-dollar transport network absolutely will. Let me show you the regional city developments that matter most. Geelong, Victoria's rising second city. Geelong is Victoria's second largest city with about 280,000 people, located an hour from Melbourne. For decades, Geelong was known mainly as a former manufacturing city struggling to find a new identity after car manufacturing closed. That's changing rapidly. Geelong is experiencing a development boom that's transforming it from a sleepy regional city into a genuine alternative to Melbourne. The scale of investment going into Geelong right now is extraordinary. The biggest single project is the Geelong Fast Rail. The Victorian government has committed billions to upgrade the Melbourne-Geelong rail line, cutting travel time from 60 minutes to around 45 minutes. This project includes track upgrades, new trains, additional services, and station improvements. Fast rail matters enormously because it makes Geelong viable for Melbourne workers. Right now, commuting from Geelong to Melbourne every day is tough. It's doable, but not pleasant. When travel time drops to 45 minutes with frequent, reliable services, suddenly Geelong becomes as accessible as many Melbourne suburbs. People paying $1.2 million for houses in Melbourne's outer suburbs will start looking at Geelong, where $800,000 buys a much better house with a shorter commute. The Geelong City deal is pumping $500 million into the city center. This includes a complete transformation of the waterfront area, new innovation precincts, upgraded public spaces, and support for new industries. The waterfront development will create thousands of jobs and make central Geelong genuinely attractive as an urban environment. Deakin University's expansion in Geelong is bringing thousands more students to the city. The Warren Ponds campus is growing significantly with new facilities and courses. University towns always have strong rental demand and young, educated populations that drive economic growth. The Geelong Ring Road is under construction, completing a full bypass of the city and dramatically improving transport access. This makes it easier for freight and businesses to operate in Geelong, which attracts commercial investment. Major employers are moving to Geelong or expanding existing operations. The National Disability Insurance Agency, NDIA, has its headquarters in Geelong with thousands of jobs. WorkSafe Victoria has relocated significant operations to Geelong. The Australian Maritime Safety Authority has facilities there. These aren't manufacturing jobs. These are professional, well-paid government and corporate jobs. The health and education sectors are expanding. University Hospital Geelong is undergoing major upgrades. New schools are being built to accommodate population growth. These essential services make Geelong viable for families. What does this mean for property? Geelong's median house price has already grown from about $520,000 in 2020 to around $730,000 now. That's 40% growth in 5 years. But the developments I've described are mostly still underway or just completing. Fast rail won't be finished until 2027-2028. The City Deal projects are rolling out over the next 5 years. As these projects complete and Geelong becomes genuinely connected to Melbourne by fast rail, property demand will increase further. People working in Melbourne will choose to live in Geelong for better housing at lower prices. Businesses will relocate to Geelong for lower costs and good access. The city's population is forecast to grow to 350,000 by 2035. For investors, Geelong offers opportunity. Focus on areas near train stations that will benefit most from fast rail. Suburbs like Geelong West, North Geelong, and Newtown within walking distance of stations will see strong demand from commuters. The waterfront and CBD areas will benefit from urban renewal. And growth areas like Armstrong Creek in the south offer new housing for families. Geelong represents the model of what a successful regional city looks like: good transport links to a capital city, diverse employment base, growing population, strong amenities, and ongoing infrastructure investment. It's Victoria's best regional investment opportunity right now. Newcastle and the Hunter region: economic transformation. Newcastle is New South Wales's second largest city, with about 320,000 people in the urban area and 650,000 in the broader Hunter region. Historically, Newcastle was defined by coal, steel, and heavy industry. The city has been working for decades to transform its economy, and that transformation is now accelerating. Multiple major developments are converging to reshape Newcastle's economy and urban form. The biggest is the removal of the heavy rail line from Newcastle's city center and its replacement with light rail. The old rail line cut the city off from its magnificent waterfront. Removing it has opened up prime city land for redevelopment. The light rail now connects the city center with suburbs, the university, and the beach. This has triggered massive urban renewal in Newcastle's CBD and waterfront. Honeysuckle Precinct, once industrial wasteland, is now full of apartments, restaurants, offices, and public spaces. Property values in central Newcastle have soared. This renewal is continuing with multiple sites being redeveloped. The University of Newcastle is a major driver of growth. It's a large, research-intensive university with over 38,000 students. The university is expanding with new facilities and courses. It's also developing commercial innovation precincts, bringing together university research and private companies. This creates high-skilled jobs and attracts young, educated workers. The John Hunter Health and Innovation Precinct is a billion-dollar project, creating one of Australia's largest health, research, and innovation hubs. The John Hunter Hospital is being upgraded and expanded. New medical research facilities are being built. Biotechnology and medical device companies are establishing operations. This precinct will employ thousands of highly skilled workers in well-paid jobs. Port of Newcastle is undergoing transformation. While coal exports remain important, the port is diversifying into containers, bulk goods, and potentially becoming a hub for renewable energy exports. The port provides thousands of direct and indirect jobs. Newcastle Airport is expanding significantly. It's New South Wales' second busiest airport, with over 1.3 million passengers annually. The airport is undergoing terminal upgrades, new hangars, and improved facilities. Better airport access makes Newcastle more connected and attractive to businesses. Defense industry is growing in Newcastle. Naval shipbuilding and maintenance, aerospace, and defense technology companies are establishing in the region, building on the area's engineering expertise. These are high-paying, long-term jobs. Renewable energy is becoming huge in the Hunter. Offshore wind farms are being developed off the coast with potential to generate massive amounts of clean energy. Battery manufacturing and storage facilities are being established. Hydrogen projects are in development. As the world transitions away from coal, the Hunter is positioning itself as a renewable energy powerhouse. The transport infrastructure is improving. The M1 motorway upgrades make travel to Sydney faster. The rail line improves freight and passenger capacity. Better transport connectivity makes Newcastle more accessible. What does this all mean? Newcastle is transitioning from a declining heavy industry city to a diversified modern economy based on education, health, innovation, renewable energy, and services. This transition is creating jobs, attracting population, and driving property demand. Newcastle's median house price has grown from about $600,000 in 2020 to $850,000 now. The areas closest to the city center, university, and waterfront have seen even stronger growth. But there's still value compared to Sydney. An $850,000 house in Newcastle gets you something far better than an $850,000 house in outer Sydney. And Newcastle offers better lifestyle with beaches, wine regions, and urban amenities. For investors, focus on suburbs benefiting from urban renewal. Areas like Hamilton, Wickham, and Cooks Hill near the city center and university have strong rental demand. Suburbs along the light rail corridor benefit from improved transport. Coastal suburbs like Meriwether and Bar Beach have enduring appeal. And areas near the hospital and university precincts benefit from employment growth. Newcastle's challenge is that it's not close enough to Sydney for easy daily commuting. It's 2.5 hours by car or train, which is too long for most people. So Newcastle needs to stand on its own as an employment and lifestyle destination, not just as a Sydney satellite. The developments I've described are building that self-sufficient economy. The Hunter region beyond Newcastle also has opportunities. Lake Macquarie, immediately south of Newcastle, is more affordable and benefits from Newcastle's growth. Maitland, to the northwest, is growing as a satellite city with new housing and improving amenities. Port Stephens, to the north, offers coastal lifestyle. Newcastle represents a city successfully transitioning its economy from declining industries to growing sectors. That transition is creating investment opportunities. Toowoomba, Queensland's inland city success story. Toowoomba might surprise you on this list. It's not a coastal city. It's not flashy. It's 90 minutes inland from Brisbane, up on the Great Dividing Range. But Toowoomba is experiencing development and growth that makes it one of Queensland's best regional opportunities. Toowoomba is Queensland's second largest inland city, with about 140,000 people in the urban area. It's the major center for the Darling Downs agricultural region. Historically, it's been a quiet agricultural service town. That's changing. The Toowoomba Second Range Crossing has transformed the city's transport. This $1.6 billion project opened in 2019, creating a new highway bypass that takes freight traffic out of the city center. Previously, hundreds of trucks drove through Toowoomba's main street daily. Now they bypass the city completely. This has two effects. First, the city center is now pleasant and livable instead of being dominated by trucks. This has triggered urban renewal, with restaurants, cafes, and apartments developing in the CBD. Second, the bypass makes Toowoomba much better connected for freight and logistics, attracting warehousing and distribution businesses. Toowoomba is becoming a major freight and logistics hub. Its location at the top of the range between Brisbane and inland Queensland, combined with excellent road and rail connections, makes it ideal for distribution centers. Major retailers and logistics companies are establishing large facilities in Toowoomba. This creates thousands of jobs. The Toowoomba Wellcamp Airport is unique in Australia. It's a privately owned airport built by a local family. It has a full-length runway capable of handling large jets and operates international freight flights. The airport makes Toowoomba connected to the world, not just to Brisbane. It's attracted aviation businesses, freight operations, and even became a quarantine facility during COVID. The University of Southern Queensland is based in Toowoomba and growing. It's a significant regional university with strong engineering, health, and business programs. The university attracts students and provides skilled graduates for local businesses. Advanced manufacturing is growing in Toowoomba. The city has traditional manufacturing expertise, but is adding advanced capabilities in agricultural technology, food processing, and specialized engineering. Companies are choosing Toowoomba for lower costs than Brisbane while maintaining good access. Health infrastructure is expanding. Toowoomba Hospital is undergoing major upgrades. New medical facilities and specialist services are being established. Health is becoming a major employer. The Inland Rail project will massively benefit Toowoomba. This $14.5 billion project will create a new freight rail line from Melbourne to Brisbane, passing through Toowoomba. When complete around 2027-2028, this will double-stack container trains carrying freight up and down the East Coast. Toowoomba will be a major node on this network, attracting more logistics and freight businesses. Agriculture remains important but is becoming more sophisticated. The Darling Downs is some of Australia's best agricultural land. Modern agriculture is high-tech, using drones, sensors, and data analysis. Toowoomba is becoming a center for agricultural technology and innovation. What does this mean for property? Toowoomba's median house price has grown from about $430,000 in 2020 to around $620,000 now. That's 44% growth in 5 years, which is exceptional for an inland regional city. But Toowoomba is still very affordable compared to coastal cities. You can buy a good 4-bedroom house on a decent block for $600,000 to $700,000. Rental yields in Toowoomba are excellent, typically 5 to 6%. Combined with solid capital growth and affordability, this makes Toowoomba attractive for investors. For investors, focus on areas near the university for student rental demand. Suburbs in the Middle Ring, like Rangeville, Centurion Heights, and Newtown, offer good housing at reasonable prices. The CBD fringe is seeing renewal and apartment development, and growth areas on the city's edges offer new family homes. Toowoomba's advantages are affordability, strong employment growth in logistics and education, good transport connections, and a livable climate. It's cooler than Brisbane, which many people prefer. The elevation means it avoids the worst of Brisbane's heat and humidity. The challenges are that it's inland, without beaches, it's not close enough to Brisbane for commuting, and it needs to generate its own employment rather than relying on capital city jobs. But the developments and economic diversification happening suggest Toowoomba is successfully building that self-sufficient economy. Toowoomba represents a regional city succeeding through strategic advantages in location and transport rather than just lifestyle appeal. It's proving that inland cities can thrive. Cairns: tourism, education, and tropical development. Cairns is far north Queensland's major city with about 170,000 people. It's famous as a tourism destination for the Great Barrier Reef and tropical rainforests. But Cairns is diversifying beyond tourism and experiencing significant development. The Cairns Convention Center upgrade is a $176 million project creating world-class convention and exhibition facilities. This will attract major conferences, conventions, and events year-round, reducing dependence on seasonal tourism. Business tourism is more valuable and more stable than leisure tourism. James Cook University's Cairns campus is expanding significantly. The university has strong programs in tropical research, marine science, and indigenous studies. Growth in student numbers brings population and rental demand. Cairns Hospital redevelopment is creating a major health precinct. The $1 billion project includes new hospital facilities, specialized services, and medical research capabilities. This makes Cairns the health hub for all of far north Queensland. Defense presence is growing in Cairns. Army and Navy facilities are expanding. Cairns is becoming more important strategically given its location in northern Australia. Defense spending provides stable employment. Port of Cairns upgrades are improving freight and cruise ship facilities. The port is important for tourism, fishing, and trade. Better facilities attract more cruise ships and support local industries. The Cairns shipping channel is being dredged to allow larger ships. This improves access for both cruise ships and freight vessels, supporting tourism and trade. Aviation infrastructure improvements at Cairns Airport make it better connected domestically and internationally. The airport is the gateway to tropical North Queensland. Renewable energy projects are being developed in the region. Solar farms, hydroelectric projects, and potentially offshore wind all have potential in far north Queensland. These projects provide construction jobs and ongoing employment. What does this mean for property? Cairns' median house price has grown from about $470,000 in 2020 to around $630,000 now. That's 34% growth. Cairns offers tropical lifestyle, good climate year-round, and improving employment diversity. For investors, focus on suburbs near the university and hospital for rental demand. Areas like Cairns North, Edge Hill, and Whitfield offer good housing. The northern areas like Trinity Beach and Kiwara Beach have lifestyle appeal. And the CBD fringe is seeing apartment development. Cairns' challenges are distance from other major cities, tourism dependence creating economic volatility, and tropical cyclone risk. But the diversification into health, education, and defense reduces tourism dependence. Sunshine Coast: high growth and major projects. The Sunshine Coast isn't traditionally considered regional because it's so close to Brisbane and has a population of 330,000 people. But it's outside the Brisbane metropolitan area, so technically it's regional, and it's experiencing enormous development. The Sunshine Coast University Hospital opened in 2017 and is one of Australia's most advanced hospitals. It's the center of a growing health precinct employing thousands. Health is becoming a major economic driver. Sunshine Coast University continues expanding. It's a full, comprehensive university with strong programs and growing enrollment. The university attracts students and provides skilled graduates. Sunshine Coast Airport was upgraded with a new runway capable of handling international flights. Direct flights now operate to New Zealand and potential future international destinations. Better airport access makes the region more accessible. Maroochydore CBD is being built from scratch. This new CBD is Australia's first completely new CBD development in decades. It's being built on former farmland with modern infrastructure, fiber optic networks, and sustainable design. It will house 30,000 workers at completion. The Sunshine Coast is upgrading transport infrastructure with road improvements and potentially future rail connections to Brisbane. Better transport makes the region more accessible. Property prices on the Sunshine Coast have boomed. The median house price has gone from $670,000 in 2020 to about $1 million now. That's 49% growth. The Sunshine Coast now rivals Brisbane for prices in many areas. For investors, the Sunshine Coast offers growth but at already elevated prices. Areas like Maroochydore, Booderham, and Caloundra have strong fundamentals but aren't cheap. The northern areas like Coolum and Noosa are extremely expensive. The southern areas near Caloundra offer slightly better value. Regional cities to watch. Honorable mentions. Beyond the major developments I've covered, several other regional cities have significant projects worth mentioning. Wollongong has the University of Wollongong driving innovation, the port of Port Kembla supporting industry, and proximity to Sydney making it increasingly attractive. Wollongong's median house price is now $950,000, close to Sydney levels, but offers better lifestyle. Ballarat, near Melbourne, is growing with population spillover from Melbourne. The city has good education facilities and is developing technology and health sectors. Ballarat offers affordability at $630,000 median house price, while being just over an hour from Melbourne. Bendigo, near Melbourne, is similar to Ballarat, with diversified economy, health and education facilities, and improving connectivity to Melbourne. Bendigo's median is around $650,000. Townsville, in North Queensland, has major defense investments, with Army and Air Force bases expanding. Defense spending provides stable employment. The city is also developing renewable energy and port facilities. Launceston, in Tasmania, is growing as Tasmania's economy improves. The University of Tasmania has major facilities there. The city offers affordability and lifestyle. Gold Coast continues growing rapidly with Commonwealth Games infrastructure, expanding health and education sectors, and strong population growth. The median house price is now $980,000. How to evaluate regional developments. If you're considering investing in regional cities based on developments, here's how to evaluate whether a development will actually impact property values. First, look at the scale. Small projects like a new library won't significantly impact property values. Major infrastructure like airports, rail lines, hospitals, and universities will. Second, check the funding. Is the project fully funded with money actually allocated, or is it just an announcement? Many announced projects never actually happen. Look for projects with construction already started or funding locked in. Third, consider the timeline. Projects completing in the next 2 to 3 years will impact property values soon. Projects that won't complete for 10 years are too far away to invest based on. Fourth, assess the employment impact. Projects that create permanent jobs have bigger impacts than projects that only create temporary construction jobs. A new university campus creates permanent education jobs. A new road creates only temporary construction jobs. Fifth, Evaluate connectivity improvements. Developments that improve transport connections to capital cities or other major centers create significant value because they expand the potential resident and worker pool. Sixth, look at population trends. Is the city's population growing or declining? Developments in growing cities amplify existing growth. Developments in declining cities rarely reverse the decline. Seventh, consider the existing fundamentals. Cities with diverse economies, good amenities, and lifestyle appeal benefit more from new developments than cities lacking these fundamentals. Final thoughts. Regional Australian cities are experiencing a development boom that's creating genuine opportunities. But not all regional cities and not all developments are equal. The cities I've highlighted, Geelong, Newcastle, Toowoomba, Cairns, and the Sunshine Coast, all have major developments underway that will significantly impact their economies and property markets. These aren't just nice-to-have projects, they're transformative infrastructure that will shape these cities for decades. For investors, these developments create opportunities to buy into regional cities before the full impact of new infrastructure is realized. Property prices have already grown significantly in most regional cities, but the projects I've discussed are still completing. As they finish and the economic benefits flow through, property demand should increase further. The key is being selective. Don't just buy any regional property because there's a development happening somewhere nearby. Focus on quality properties in areas that will directly benefit from new infrastructure. Buy near new train stations, near new hospital or university precincts, or in areas benefiting from urban renewal. Regional cities offer more affordable entry prices than capital cities, often better rental yields, and in many cases, genuine lifestyle advantages. Combined with major infrastructure investment, selected regional cities offer compelling opportunities for both investors and people considering a move from expensive capital cities. The regional boom of 2020 to 2023 was driven by temporary factors like COVID and remote work. The next phase of regional growth will be driven by permanent infrastructure and economic transformation. Understanding which cities are genuinely building that transformation is how you identify the best opportunities. That's my analysis of Australian regional city developments worth watching. Do your own research, visit these cities yourself, and make informed decisions. The opportunities are real, but only if you choose carefully.